and obviously we focused mainly on the floods. But what he said at the end there was really interesting, I felt, about the Epstein files, because this is raging away. The administration having got everybody very excited. I had one of the administration on Uncensored, Alina had. But let's remind people what she told me literally like 2-3 months ago.
It is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names.
Okay, in this clip, we're going to see Brian Tyler Cohen get smashed by the MAGA conservatives. Brian Tyler Cohen is going to make this all about Trump, and Brian Tyler Cohen is going to get dismantled by Brian Ferguson and Natalie Winter. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the clip.
That will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Piers, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Now, Ben, that clip has had millions and millions of views this week, understandably, because there's a massive disconnect between what she told me there and what Pam Bondi was saying and what others were saying and what's actually materialized in the last 48 hours. Senator Cruz there very firmly that he wants everything put out and he wants criminal action taken against those who broke the law. What's your view?
Couldn't agree more. Look, I think there's transparency the American people deserve, but not just the American people, most importantly, the victims. They deserve to not have this be covered up in any capacity or for people to just stop looking. I don't know if there's certain information that has disappeared or wasn't there that they thought was there, but at the end of the day, all that we do have needs to be put out there in a responsible way. You have to protect the victims. That is something that's extremely important. And so it's got to be done in an orderly way. But there are too many people that have talked about this on the record saying that there's a lot of stuff out there to then all of a sudden say, all right, well, maybe we don't have it. Maybe it's not there. Whatever the story is, give it to everyone the same way. And make sure you protect those victims, but they deserve justice. And I don't think this is going to be the end of the story. I think there's far too many people that are asking the questions that you just mentioned, that the senator mentioned, that I'm mentioning. And this should be nonpartisan. This should be non-political. You have children that apparently were sex trafficked and abused in horrific ways. That has nothing to do with politics. It should come out whether the people that were the perpetrators of this were liberal or conservative or agnostic. It doesn't matter. You need to protect the victims, and we need to make sure things like this never, ever, ever, ever happen again.
Right. Brian Tyler Cohen, I mean, I do think it's a nonpartisan issue. Obviously, nothing is these days, but I do think that it is completely baffling to me, just as a journalist, that you have this extraordinary scandal that rages away for many years. The main perpetrator dies in prison and is believed to have taken his own life, but the only person that's actually been made criminally accountable and is now languishing in prison is Ghislaine Maxwell, his kind of madame figure, who's a woman. So none of the other men who are widely believed to have been involved in this, none of them have been made accountable. What's your view of this?
Yeah, I mean, my view is that this is a con job by this administration. All of these people, Kash Patel, Alina Habba, Dan Bongino, Donald Trump, all of them came forward and said that this was a priority for them because they were stringing their supporters along. And then the moment they get into power, here we are in a situation where the whole thing is just closed and we have no further information on this. And yet, look, I think it would be fools to be surprised. I mean, this is a guy, Jeffrey Epstein, who Trump himself palled around with for years. This is a guy who Epstein himself called his closest friend.
Kicked him out of his club.
This is a guy who Jeffrey Epstein said was his closest friend for 10 years. This is a guy who Donald Trump appointed as his Secretary of Labor, Alex Acosta, who handed him a sweetheart deal, a non-prosecution agreement where he was out of prison 6 out of 7 days a week. So, look.
But if we're going to talk about all of these facts, right, because I'm sorry, but I'm like more inclined to agree with Brian Tyler Cohen. Sorry, don't care. People will get mad. MAGA. I really don't care about all of that virtue signaling. By the way, guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Jim Acosta was told to leave Epstein alone. Like, don't go too far. It's above your pay grade. Okay? What is going on in this country? Like, are y'all asking that question yet? Like, what's going on in this country where we defend or, cover up for politicians, bankers, royals, whoever else, who have done terrible things with children? It's a sad day in America for many reasons, because they shut down. They said this case is closed and shut the F up. So he has a right to talk trash, and I'm glad that he, kind of ignored Brian Ferguson. Now's not the time to defend Trump. He wasn't there. He was there. What's going on? How many decisions were made based off blackmail?
Trump can say what he wants on the campaign trail in the lead up when he needs to get everybody's votes and pander to the base. But at the end of the day, he's the guy in charge. And suddenly the about face from everybody in his administration, the buck falls to one person. It's not Alina Habba or Carolyn Levitt or Dan Bongino or Kash Patel. It's Trump himself.
Right. I mean, Natalie, the interesting thing in terms of the timeline here.
Now, the thing is, and just real quick, what I will say is that I don't agree that it only stops at Trump. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, all of them, all of them. What's going on? Does anybody have any guts in this country to get up and say, hey, there's something fishy happening here?
Is that when Elon Musk fell out pretty spectacularly and suddenly with Donald Trump, one of the things he posted on his X platform was, bombshell. The biggest bombshell is that Trump's in the Epstein files, right? And that was only a few weeks ago. And since then, there seems to have been a concerted effort for this story to just go away. Now, these two things may be completely unconnected. There may be nothing more to it other than Trump obviously was seen around Epstein. They clearly were very friendly for a while. I think he used his plane several times. I don't think that's in dispute. But there does seem to be a weird timeline here of Elon Musk saying that publicly and everything getting shut down a few weeks later. Am I reading too much into this?
Well, look, I think this is very quickly approaching. I mean, we've already passed debacle territory, but just outright grift. And that's probably not something that you would expect me to say, but this is just absolutely reprehensible. I think if you look at what really the MAGA base, the people who elected President Trump, what their sort of concerns have been these past few months is that the administration is not moving fast enough, right? They're not content with the press releases and the tweets. They want to see prison sentences and actual accountability for people that they believe committed crimes. Now, we've hit the point where we're not even getting the press releases or the strongly worded letters. We're getting weird, undated, unnamed memos being released over holiday weekends to legacy media outlets trying to bury it in Axios instead of working with all the new media outlets that the White House, pumped and talked so openly and heavily about being in and around the White House. I mean, this is a bedrock issue. I agree it's nonpartisan, it's non-political to want to get justice for the victims, but I also think that this is something that is both hyper-partisan and hyper-political, because what Jeffrey Epstein was doing, whether it's a foreign intel operation or domestic aside or joint operation, has direct ramifications and probably the policies that we've seen being rolled out, whether through blackmail indirectly or directly through a lot of the political leaders in this nation. I would just say, as someone who has been on shows, co-hosted with a lot of the people, the clips that we've played of people who have called out Jeffrey Epstein for years and made millions of dollars off of it, it is absolutely reprehensible and it is a complete grift. And you have now, in their words, probably become the deep state. If you're going to run cover for this and you think that the MAGA audience is dumb enough to not, be able to go back 2 months and see the comments you were making on Fox News, guys, we need to get this right. I don't even know if I have faith in Pam Bondi anymore, but this is a really, really concerning moment for MAGA.
Yeah.
Shout out to Natalie, who I have to say, it is refreshing that this, because really, to be honest, we were watching this together for the first time. I don't know if you guys watched the whole clip already on Piers or not, but for me, I was watching it first time with you guys. Once again, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and a notification bell. But her wrapping up her words on this matter, they are refreshing, because I was waiting for the whole, but the Dems want to go after Trump with this, and they want to keep bringing up Trump. And not once did she say his name. And even if to not call him out on his false promises, but she called out the grift, and she said the same exact thing that I've been worried about. Like, I'm sorry, this is not just like, cool clip for YouTube, but okay, yeah, it'll move, right? But this is about real talk. Like, this is about what? First of all, it's about children, okay, who were, and I say children because, I mean, they were minors, right? And who were, treated badly. And it's because it's YouTube, I can't use certain words. But that question, she said, what kind of policies were made based off blackmail? Is that a concern for people? Maybe, have we gotten to the point where we're just like, yeah, that's how it works?